All right, let's look at this example of a rational function we're trying to graph. So like always, the first thing I'm going to do is try to factor. So I can take a 5 out of the top here. So I take a 5 out, I'm left with x minus 3. And the denominator I'm going to factor, it's our general factorization with the x squared in front. So we have x, and then two numbers that multiply to negative 3, add to negative 2, minus 3, positive 1. So with the two factors in the bottom, I'm going to have all real numbers except for those two values that make the denominator 0. That would be 3 and negative 1. And I always want to do my domain before I cancel this common factor out like we've talked about. So now when I cross it out, my lowest terms function, the one I'm going to use from now on, is 5 over x plus 1. So I'm going to kind of use this for everything else now. Now there of course is a hole because I crossed that factor out. The hole is at 3 comma something. And so what I can do to find the y coordinate of the hole, I'll just plug the 3 into my new lowest terms function. So I'll plug in 3. 5 over 3 plus 1 is 5/4. So this guy up here, my lowest terms, I just plug that in. I'm plugging everything into that. Okay, x-intercept is what makes the top 0, but the top is just 5, and 5 is never equal to 0. So there is no x-intercept. Y-intercept, if you recall, the y-intercept is always f of 0. So when you plug in 0, so that's 5 over 0 plus 1, which is simply 5. So 0, 5 is our y-intercept. So I can get my first point there. Now anything that makes the bottom 0 makes us a vertical asymptote. So in this case, that's x equal to negative 1. So over here at negative 1, I'll try to put my vertical asymptote. And then the last, we have horizontal or slant, which remember is always based on the degree. Well, in our new one, the top of this is degree 0 and the bottom is degree 1. So if you refer to our chart, if the degree of the top is smaller than the bottom or the bottom is bigger than the top, this automatically has a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. And so if it's got a horizontal, it does not have a slant. So I'm going to try to put a dashed line at y equals 0. So I have that, and then I also have my hole, which is at 3 and 5/4, is somewhere here. So now based on this graph, I kind of know it's going to approach it like this. Skip that hole, it's kind of a singular point in the graph. And so then on this side, it's just going to do the opposite. So it'll look like something like this. It just approaches those asymptotes, putting our different y-intercepts, x-intercepts on our graph.